In the Cluttered Corner with Bonnie Bishop. So good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I mean, it's always good to see you.
Thank you.
It's a nice greeting as well.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome back to Texas.
Thank you.
It's been short enough time that I can say that, right?
Yes, it has been. I guess I got back in March. At the beginning of March, I really came down just for an extended vacation, and I came home and it felt so good. I found myself wanting to stay, so I'm doing double duty.
Well, and Nashville's only 3 hours away by plane.
See, you keep saying that, but I end up driving it, and it's not close by when you drive it.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes we drive so we can take the dog, or we're bringing pianos back and forth for gigs and things like that. But it's really not inconvenient considering what you get in return for getting to live in a place that you love and work in a place that you love and have opportunities. So it's I'm really glad. I feel very relaxed.
Do you feel welcomed?
I feel very welcomed. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I did. I mean, a lot of things have changed. You know, obviously Austin has changed a lot, which is where I was living when I left. The music scene has changed a lot. But I'm really enjoying, you know, reconnecting with my old friends, Robert Earl and Mickey and Willie and Hayes and all those guys, and just starting to get my groove back in Texas. And it's kind of been a relaxing year, which I haven't had a lot of those in the last 12 years on the road.
Well, that's it's really good to have you back, and also to know that you're working regularly.
Yes.
Unfortunately, in Nashville, you can't do the kind of work that you like to do.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can do it, you just can't get paid for it. So
well, there's a difference there.
there's a big difference. But you know, Nashville's has been really good to me. You know, I've had songs cut and made some great partnerships with songwriters, and I want to keep doing that. And there's a lot of friends that I love there, and I love to go and be there for shorter periods of time, like 5 days to 8 days, and then I get up every day and I work really hard, and that seems to work better for me than living there full time, because I was coming back and forth and going to New York and all over the place to do gigs anyway. So I just wanted my home base to be somewhere that felt more like home.
I am really taken by, this is a vinyl of the new CD called Free, but here is Bonnie doing her best Stevie Nicks impression.
I was totally accidental. I mean, I was wearing a shawl. I did spread my wings. When we took the picture, we had no idea, but we've gotten a lot of references to Stevie Nicks. I'll take it.
Yeah, of course. And may I wish that in 20 years from now, you're in the same situation she was in after 20 years.
Me too. Yeah. Me too.
And I also should make sure that everyone sees that the vinyl is
this is the cool part.
A beautiful purple color. Lavender.
Yes. Lavender, purple.
We are doing this in the midst of football season.
Yeah.
So I have to take you to your early days.
Okay.
On the sidelines.
Okay.
When Jackie Sherrill was coaching.
Yes.
And you had never been to a football game.
Nope, never been to a football game. Jackie and my mom got married when I was 12, and we moved to Mississippi, which is, he had accepted the job as head coach at Mississippi State at that time. And he was in between jobs when we met him, so we didn't know anything about A&M. I mean, even if somebody had said Texas A&M, I'm not even sure I would have known where that was at the time. And but we, you know, moved to Mississippi, and I remember the very first football game that we went to at Mississippi State. This was hilarious, because my mom handed my sister, my older sister and I, handed us 2 tickets, and she said, I don't know where I'm going, y'all got to figure out where you're going, and she just takes off towards her seats, and we went and just sat in the stands, and we were both looking at each other like, do you know what's going on? Do you know what's going on? And we're like watching the ball. We had no idea. We're, you know, watching Jackie through our binoculars, but so after that first game, I think that he sensed that we didn't really feel a connection to what was going on, and maybe like the Thursday before the game, he looked at me and he said, oh, would you like to stand with me on the sidelines? And I said yes, and he said, you can be my cord carrier. which, you know, back in the olden days, the coaches wear their headsets, you know, so they can communicate with the coaches in the box, but they all have.
And they didn't have wireless,
No.
they had hardwired into
That's
the stadium.
right. So all the coaches on the sidelines had a cord carrier. So that was how I got my job on the sidelines.
It got you ready to be your own roadie, didn't it?
It got me ready for a lot of things. Yeah, it got me ready to get my butt kicked, run over, ignored, yelled at, you know, all that stuff. I did actually get run over really badly one time. And this is a great story if we have time to tell these kind of stories. But I was run over by Jason Wiesner. He was number 66. And everybody remembers Jason because he was 6'7", 390 pounds.
Oh, that was a run over.
And I'm on the sidelines, I'm right next to Jackie, and I'm supposed to be watching the game at all times, but I'm like, you know, I'm looking at boys, you know, I'm like doing all this. I was like 13 at the time. And I hear somebody scream, "Heads up." And I look, and I see the ball like spiraling towards me, and the whole scrimmage line is coming right to the sidelines, and there was no time to think. And next thing I know, I'm just like splat on the ground, and I'm laying there, and all I can see is this giant 66, this giant number 66 on me. Literally was like crushed by this guy. Wasn't hurt, which is what was crazy. But they pulled Jason off, and I'm laying there, and I was humiliated, right? Like I'm 13, I just got, you know, nailed on the sidelines. And Jackie's looking at me, and you can see he's got that choice, like, you know, the parent in him wanted to reach down and make sure I was okay, but the coach in him couldn't let down his guard. So he just looked at me and he goes, "You're all right, get up." And I got up, didn't let a tear come out, and got right back on. I'll tell you what, I never took my eyes off the ball again.
I bet. And of course, that's the way he would handle his players too.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Tough love.
Now
on the
you and Django
sidelines.
Walker have taken that word sidelines.
Yes.
And made something out of it.
Yes, we did.
Tell me that story.
Well, last May, I was just in my house, and this melody came out of nowhere, and it literally was like, "On the sidelines, waiting your turn," and I could hear all the music in my head, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is a song about underdogs on the sidelines. So I called Django, and I said, "I got this tune that you got to help me write." So he came over, and we wrote the song about, you know, the experience for the players who haven't gotten their chance to go on, who have it all inside them, and they're just, you know, waiting for that chance to run on the field and show everybody what they can do. And obviously that's something as an artist that I can relate to, you know, from waiting my turn on the sidelines, if you will. And so it's really about being an underdog.
And real people can relate to that.
And real people can relate to that. But it's about being an underdog and believing in yourself, and not letting that time be wasteful, but being ready and confident and being like in the game, ready at any moment, because you don't know when they're going to look at you and they're going to point. It's going to be your turn. So it's really a really cool tune, and I've sent it to ESPN. Jackie's playing it in his show.
Right.
One of his old players has a radio show. They're playing it. So we're working to, you know, I'd love to see an ESPN segment about a great underdog story from this year with that song. So I believe.
Tell us where to go to find out more about Bonnie Bishop.
Well, you can go to BonnieBishop.com. I'm also on Facebook. On my fan page is really fun because I post a lot of stories there. I've been collecting stories from the road from the last 13 years. So I post a story every week, and you can also sign up for the mailing list, so then you'll get more stories and things like that through the newsletter, Twitter, all that. I'm available.
Thank you for being in the Cluttered Corner.
Yeah, totally.
Bonnie Bishop.